It's a place for all the biggest shows and stars of the stage. It's the Broadway Show. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and welcome. It's the ultimate send-up of the golden age of Broadway. It's Schmigadoon, the brand new musical based on the hit Apple TV show. How's it been going?
What's been going?
How's the show been going?
What show?
Schmigadoon.
Got it.
Great, yeah.
It has been going outrageously. It is so much fun. The room is full of joy, and in a time right now, it's so nice to be in a room full of wonderful people saying funny things and everybody laughing, and the music is great. It's just like a joy bomb. It's awesome.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
got to be fun to go to work every day like that.
Yes.
It is. I know it's fun to go to work because I actually show up on time as opposed to 2 minutes late.
Is that different from
Yes.
usual shows? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Sarah doesn't like a show, she's not showing up.
That's true.
And then it's on you.
That's on me.
Let's talk about who you play in Schmigadoon, because I kind of find it ironic considering what you do for a living.
Right. So I play a surgeon, Dr. Josh Skinner, whose biggest quality is his absolute abhorrence of musical theater, which is counter to kind of my entire life, being a musical theater, fanatic and doer. But he's a guy who just can't understand the idea of people breaking out into song as an art form. So it's been very fun, but I will say the interesting thing is, as such a lover of musical theater, there is something very difficult about being in the show, watching this happening and forgetting, or trying to remember really that I have to hate what I'm watching. So there are moments where I do catch myself sort of getting into the performance and having to like roll it back, and I never thought that would be a problem, but it's my love of theater.
That's really funny, but it has to also be so ironically fun to play a role like that.
It's a blast. Playing anything outside of yourself is great, and especially a personality trait that you really don't agree with is fun to play because it's something you don't live.
And we've watched you often do that, and something without your not part of your personality.
Yes.
Hence Beetlejuice. What about you? What are you enjoying most?
So I have the opposite problem of Alex. My character and myself as a person loves musical theater, and I love golden age musicals. And most of my job is I just sit there and watch the most talented people on Broadway dance and sing, and I just have to react naturally like I normally would. And it's just what a joy. I get to watch Anne Harada and Anna Gasteyer sing and act, and then I get to watch like Max Clayton dance and do these acrobats. It's so joyful.
I'm very jealous.
And you can be yourself.
Yeah.
And you can be yourself watching. Why are you jealous?
I'm jealous because I have to be like boring, and I'm watching Anna Gasteyer,
Right.
someone who I've dreamed to work with, and I have to sort of be like, nah, don't care.
Dismiss her.
Yeah.
What do you feel is so special about this show, and what made you excited about being chosen to do it?
It's good. It's really good, and it's really a sweet homage to. It's not even an homage to Golden Age musicals. It truly, the music can exist alongside that catalog that already exists, and the dances and the language. It doesn't make fun of the period. It's like watching a warm hug if you love musical theater, and even if you don't, you've got Josh as your guide to sort of poke fun of it. But then it ultimately wins you over.
It has this contemporary energy, and then it has the golden age energy. Sort of really does have something for everybody. It's a cliche thing to say, but it really does hit that mark of it really does have something for literally everybody. Whether you like, hate, love, kind of or medium about musicals, this is for you. I think that this will be a very, very, very capital G good show.
Dog Day Afternoon is now on Broadway, starring Jon Bernthal, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and more. It's based on the Oscar-winning film that was inspired by the real-life New York bank heist during the sweltering summer of 1972. We caught up with the stars on the carpet.
Oh man, it meant so much. I mean, look, I really want to honor the 18-year-old kid who dreamed of this, never thought it was possible, was so incredibly far away. I don't do that very much. I like to try to stay in the moment. I try to stay in what's ahead of me, but there are times you can kind of look at the totality of things, and I'm really trying to honor that kid and honor all the teachers and the people that kind of got me here. But I'll tell you tonight, the bow was really special because the first person I saw when I looked out was my 11-year-old daughter in the audience waving to me, and I blew her a kiss. I actually missed my second bow because I blew her a kiss. But look, that's it for me. I believe in the theater. I believe in it with every bone in my body. And so for my 3 kids to be able to be here tonight, doing this play as a reading 5 years ago was the first time they ever saw me on stage. So for them to be here tonight and for the kids to witness how important theater is and how it's been a part of human existence since the beginning of time, how pertinent it is, how vital it is, that's what's special for me tonight.
The audience is kind of like the 21st character or whatever, you know, so we really needed it. You can only get so far in the rehearsal room. This is not like a quiet two-hander, people talking about ideas. You know, this is a real visceral, bodily kind of show, so we need the audience.
I think it's the lovely New York love letter to this city and to a time that seemed, you know, it seems to many people that it was decades ago, but the dynamic of 1972 is so similar to that of today. Yeah, and I think just living in that place also with this particular cast who are real New Yorkers has been fabulous. Yeah.
It is impossible to walk away from this experience not looking at how pertinent the issues that were sort of plaguing New York in 1972 are still so present now. We've come so far and we've traveled no distance at all. It's a party, it's dangerous, it's hilarious, and there's a ton of heart. Look, I think it does the best at what theater can do.
Sleep all day, party all night, never die. It's fun having vampires on Broadway. It's maybe the most anticipated musical of the season, The Lost Boys, inspired by the hit 80s classic movie. Here's Paul Wontorek with more.
I want to belong to someone who can take my heart home, a home where I don't always feel alone. I wanna belong to someone who is always near me, someone who really hears me, someone who can save me from me. I wanna belong to someone.
What's a nice LA rock band like you doing in the middle of Broadway? What are you doing in a place like this? So tell me the origin story. I'm sure everyone asks you this, but I want to know. Tell me how you all came together to make this awesome band.
Well, Adrienne and I knew each other at Berklee College of Music, and she moved to LA first. I joined like 4 years later, and Gabe was already out there. And we all were playing our solo music. We all had solo projects, and a dear friend of mine who was in the music industry had this idea. He was like, you should get together and form this band. And I told them we knew each other from playing around, and we all kind of had a good laugh and forgot about it. And then he used his own wedding reception to like basically force us to form the band and try it. He paid us the kind of money at our age that we couldn't say no back then in our 20s. Wow. It was just instant chemistry, and because he was in the music industry, there were managers and labels and such there, and they wanted to then see us showcase, which was hilarious because we'd all been trying to get record deals for years, and suddenly it was a boulder rolling down a mountain that you couldn't stop. Yeah, it's like a lesson in saying yes, you know, to things that are unexpected, which is like perfectly what happened with the Lost Boys too. It's exactly the same thing, and thank goodness we said yes when this surprising thing came into our lives, because just like the band The Rescues, it has been the creative gift of a lifetime that just keeps on giving.
What's funny is that we said yes to writing a musical before knowing what it is to write a musical. We were like, well, all right, we'll write like 20 songs and then give it to the people, and then they'll do their thing and we'll move on with our lives. 5 years later, 50 songs later, we're like, I'm actually really happy that we didn't know that it would have been harder to say yes, I think, had we known what a commitment it would be. I think we still would have said yes, but like, it was kind of nice sort of being, and it was like when COVID was 2 weeks long. We were in the beginning, where it was like, this is just gonna be 2 weeks. Had we known it was gonna be 4 years, I think we would have lost our minds. Yeah. So it was nice sort of being in the dark about that.
Right.
You know?
And we can't wait to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let me just take this back a little bit. So you're making your music, having a lot of success as The Rescues, and there's this super fan, apparently, of your group named Michael Arden, who I'm sure you did not realize that this guy was a fan. Meanwhile, he's building this incredible career on Broadway. He just happened to love your music. He happened to get involved in this. He dreamt this all up. That's crazy.
He did.
I mean, that's wild.
He had an instinct that we were the ones to do this, to write this musical. Yeah. He just knew somehow. Yeah. We didn't know. We were like, okay, I guess. And then it's just like, as time went on, we were like, right. This was inevitable. This was what we'd been sort of doing the whole time, because we write very sort of naturally, very theatrically, dramatically. You know, we love the drama, and you know, and I don't know, it seemed like it was a very easy, natural segue.
Who is that bolt of lightning? I have to know her. She's all fire and it's frightening. My God, she burns so bright. And there's mystery in her eyes. One look and I'm hypnotized. I could lose myself tonight.
What's been your favorite thing now about writing musicals? I mean, you said you might want to write more musicals, which I love that idea. When you look at what you've created in this score for The Lost Boys, what do you really love about this versus other things you've done?
I think a song can really come alive in the context of a story in a musical in a way that it can't on an album.
Right.
You know, and the way we approached our album songwriting was more like impressionistic painting, right? Broad strokes, you stand back, everyone can kind of see themselves in it. But the specificity of a story on stage and the way a song can animate a character's story is incredibly powerful, and I'm hooked on.
I think that I personally am attracted to like the compositional aspect of it, using thematic material for specific reasons in specific places. I don't think I'm someone who could sit down and write a symphony. However, there are things that happen when you're writing musical theater that are things that you would do if you were writing a symphony. You have these themes, you bring them back in different ways and for different reasons. So to make something that consists of a bunch of songs that are interconnected in some way, that is wonderful, and it's something that we never even like considered making our own records.
Yeah.
It is something you consider like in my day job of like composing for TV shows and movies and things like that, but it's not the same when you have to do it with songs. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
If we make it through the night, if we get the chance to change, if we can find it in ourselves to forgive us our mistakes, may we not forget how close we came to saying goodbye. Remember what matters now, if we make it through the night. If We Make It Through the Night is the finale of the show.
I love the song so much.
I love the title. It's just such a perfect. It's
If
just
We Make It Through the
just
Night.
Even when you just hear the title, it's like, oh, that's perfect for this show.
Right, because vampires always make it through the night, right? We humans don't. That is the essential nature of being human, is the if. And it's the beautiful brutality of being a human, right? Is nothing is guaranteed. And after you make it through a terrible struggle, you have the chance to think about, who do I want to be? How do I want to love? What do I want to do with the time that I have, this day that I have, which is all that I know that I have is like right now. And so like all of our characters have learned so much and arrived at this moment of growth, and they get to decide who they want to be together going forward as a chosen family. And it's such a beautiful thing, and it's so resonant for all of us. And on the very first day of rehearsal for our show back in, when was that, January, end of January, Michael Arden said, we only get to do this once. And I think about that every freaking day in relation to this show and this process and to life. And I think that's like, that goes right with this song. You know, we only get to do this once. So if we make it through the night, what are we gonna do?
Everything I've gotten wrong, I may not ever get right, but I will die trying. If we make it through the night.
The Broadway show is back in just a sec. The great John Lithgow reprising his Olivier-winning performance in Giant. It's a true story of children's author Roald Dahl and the scandal that tarnished his legacy. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
Thank you for inviting us into the Music Box Theater. It's so beautiful here, And it's wonderful that you're making your Broadway debut with Giant, starring John Lithgow. And in this piece you were writing about Roald Dahl, who everyone knows from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, and Broadway fans know Matilda. What drew you to that subject?
Well, it didn't really start with him. It really started with kind of a lot of political discourse that was happening in the UK around about 2018. A lot of conversation around the Middle East, and the sort of like, what I was noticing was a lot of mixing of like really meaningful debate, political debate, and then quite a lot of sort of quite prejudiced stereotyping. But I wanted to find a story. And I remembered, because I'd loved Dahl growing up, I loved his books, he was the sort of wallpaper of my childhood, that he had been accused of anti-Semitism himself. So I just looked up what the source of that accusation was. And he had written a book review in 1983 of a book about Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982. And it caused an outcry. And I just thought, well, that's a really great setup for a play. This famous children's author at home, under siege from critics in the press, whilst also contending with a huge domestic upheaval in his life.
This play, it sort of has some Aristotelian things in it, where we're really not going to different locations and we don't have a cast of thousands. It's very contained. Tell me about finding that tension within that play.
Yeah, it's real time, 2 hours in a room, 6 characters, and a kind of core of 4 who are sort of thrashing out. One of them is Dahl. I have been in enough rehearsal rooms with writers, brilliant writers, where on the first day of rehearsals, maybe with a new play, actors ask difficult questions. You know, the kinds of questions that you wish you'd already answered, like, why is my backstory not quite connecting to the story on stage? What does my character really want? For me, that was one thing I wanted to avoid with this, was like, make sure that the characters' backstories and what they want are crystal clear and they connect. The actors really responded to the clarity of the voice of each character, and it made it possibly easier to cast those roles, and we got amazing actors to play them.
Yes, well, you have John Lithgow, a giant of the theater, who is playing Roald Dahl and brings so much to it. What did you discover as a writer just having him read the work?
Well, I discovered that John himself brings to his presence and audience's relationship with him adds an extraordinary value to what we're about to watch. You know, the play is an attempt to find a balance in Dahl himself, who had some very cruel and controlling aspects to his personality and beliefs, but also was a man of great compassion and kindness at times, and an innocence in a weird way, a childish person, as well as a sort of a kind of cruel person. John, first of all, has an extraordinary facility to move between those two positions. He kind of doubles down on what Dahl is. He's beloved, and Dahl in a way is beloved. And we trust John Lithgow as an audience. And so even when Dahl is being cruel, we sort of bring to it some kind of belief and connection to him as a person somehow. I think John Lithgow plays a trick on our minds as much as we're watching a famous children's author.
Welcome back to the Broadway Show. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's get back to it. We're going beyond the scene with the new star of Just in Time, Matthew Morrison. Here's an exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
2, 3, 4. Just in time, I found you. Just in time, before you came, my time was running low. Talk about it, I was lost. The losing dice were tossed. My bridges all crossed. Nowhere to go. Doubt or fear, I found my way.
'cause love came just in time. You found me just in time. You changed my lonely heart this lovely day.
That's all for now, but for tickets and for more exclusive content, you can head over to Broadway.com. Until next time, I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show.